Can I start by saying that it's a great pleasure to have been asked to participate in what must be the most unique conferring of UCD law. And I should first congratulate each and every one of you on what is the great achievement of graduating. It is, by any standard, an important milestone on whatever career path you now choose to embark. There are, of course, many more career paths for the law graduate than there perhaps were when I qualified nearly 50 years ago. There are the traditional practicing professions, but they have changed and will continue to change, and that's a theme I'll come back to. But there's also practice in government, in NGOs, in business, and the increasing role of research lawyers, whether in academia coupled with teaching, or increasingly in bodies such as the Law Reform Commission, or indeed the courts, which is an expanding research function. I always feel in occasions like this that I have to start by making a confession. I am a graduate of UCD, but I am a graduate of the Faculty of Arts with a degree in mathematics and economics. But I do have a strong connection with UCD law because in the model that you could pursue in those days, it was possible for an undergraduate in any faculty to attend law lectures, present themselves to King's Inns and do exams in the core subjects and go straight in as a non-law graduate into the professional course. That's the model that I followed. It's very different today. And so many things are very different today. I launched the report of the court service just about a month ago. And in the course of making a speech on that occasion, I said we'd probably changed in the courts more in the last 5 months than we normally would in 5 years. And while that was mathematically symmetrical, I think it was actually an underestimate of the amount of change. Some of that may not last because if we do get back to a post-COVID new normal, we will get back to some of the ways of doing things that may closely resemble the past. But an awful lot of it will change and will change in one form or another on a permanent basis. The new normal will be very different to the old normal. And that has presented challenges to all of us. I'm sure you've all had a very different experience since Christmas than you thought you were likely to have coming up to final exams and graduation. We in the courts have changed radically. I have spent a lot of my time looking into a screen, presiding over the Supreme Court from my own home often, having case conferences with colleagues about upcoming appeals or judgments on appeals we've already heard. So the new normal into which you will march, in whatever career path you choose, is likely to be quite different. And that will be challenging. But can I suggest that it can also give great opportunities? Perhaps in many areas of life, but the law in particular, people valued experience. Those who had many years' experience sometimes won out over others who were young and enthusiastic and with fresh knowledge. But experience is only useful if the game stays the same. When there's a new playing pitch, as we will all be operating on in the near future, then experience is of greatly diminished value. Whether you qualified like me in the early 1970s, or whether you qualify now or over the last few years, no one has experience of doing remote hearings. So you will go into a new world with a brave new normal, which you will be every bit as competent and every bit as experienced in as those who have been around for a long time. So there will be challenges, similar ones in other ways of practice, but they're challenges which can also give you great opportunities. And the last thing I'd like to say to you all is that apart from going forth and taking up those challenges, you should also celebrate. It won't be the way you probably thought it was going to be. It won't be similar to the way we were when I graduated in Earlsford Terrace it was almost 50 years ago. And you won't be going down the steps of the O'Reilly Hall. But you should still celebrate, but do so in a way that's consistent with the restrictions that we all know are upon us at this stage. So my final phrase to all of you is go forth and celebrate, but do so safely.